Hey everyone, long time no see. This is a really important episode for me because I finally reached 500 subscribers and I'm really excited. So I've been to 6 interviews so far and I really want to share my experiences with you guys. After 6 interviews, I feel pretty confident about what I'm doing. You know, the first interview I ever went to, I was super nervous. I took my first aid for the match with me everywhere. I had prepared answers for the most commonly asked questions, which you should. You should always do that. Be prepared. I even have some clinical cases prepared for New York and the East Coast interviews because I have heard that they are more commonly asked on the East Coast. So since I have a lot coming up, I have quite a few clinical cases and things that I can talk about that I've seen in India and in the US. So make sure to always prepare something like that, just in case you're asked. So what I've realized is that all interviews have a bit of a routine. Usually, either you have a pre-interview dinner or a post-interview dinner. If the place doesn't have a dinner, they might hold a lunch for you, sometimes in the cafeteria, or they might invite you out somewhere with the residents. But basically, if it's in the cafeteria, it's actually a pretty good thing because you get to see, how the food is going to be. And I mean, it's not a huge deal to choosing the program. I mean, no one's going to really care about how the cafeteria food is. But it's just an added perk. Hey, if the food's good, you might actually be a happy resident there. So, and then in the morning, you usually get there around 7:30. You have a little bit of a breakfast. Some of the good programs have a really nice breakfast for you, but sometimes it's just, some muffins. There's always coffee, so that's good because, 7 a.m. on East Coast interviews is really early for people coming from the West Coast. So coffee is good. Once you get there, you have your breakfast. They make sure that everyone gets the pamphlets. You get some goodie bags. I have gotten, bags, of course, a lot of pens, some laser pointers, a whole bunch of stuff. So it's been good. So after you get your breakfast, you usually settle in. Either they will have a small presentation for you to watch, or they'll go directly into morning report. So morning report is what they have usually every day, where a resident will present a case that they saw either the night before or sometime during the week that they thought was interesting, that they could share with the other residents and the faculty. So you get to see basically how the didactics are. You get to see what kind of questions the faculty are asking, what kind of cases the residents are presenting, and how comfortable you feel. Like, do you feel like you can get involved? Is it a very malignant program? Are they like pimping and being really mean about it? Or are they a nicer, more supportive program where they might be pimping you with questions, but if you don't know what the answer is, maybe they just, are helping you out with the answer, helping you come to the right conclusion. So it really helps you to see if you're going to fit in. You also get to see how the residents interact with each other during morning report. Is there a lot of competition, or are they a little bit more laid back, more relaxed? Is it a supportive atmosphere? So either before or after morning report, like I said, you're going to have a presentation. So usually the program director gives a presentation about the program. There might be other faculty who give presentations as well, and sometimes residents give one. The one program where I went recently, they had a really nice video where they had all the residents talk about why they love the program. So that was really nice to see. After the presentation, either you have interviews or you have the hospital tour. 90% of the interviews that I've gone to so far, they have, interviews before lunch, but there have been one or two programs where the interviews were post lunch, which was kind of difficult, especially if the lunch is really good. And I ate 2 slices of pizza and a huge chocolate chip cookie and some appetizers, and I stuffed myself, and I got super, super sleepy right before the interview. So that did happen. So don't do that. Don't overstuff yourself. Your brain doesn't work when they're asking you questions. I mean, you do have the adrenaline rush, but when you're just so stuffed, it's hard to answer questions. So don't do that. You have the interviews. Sometimes you might actually meet the program director for 5 minutes. So it's not really an interview. The program director just answers some questions, and sometimes that happens, and sometimes the program director wants to meet you individually, and that's really amazing. That means the program director really, really cares to meet every single applicant. Of course, you can't expect that from every program director, because sometimes they're doing like 18 or 19 interviews a day, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, until from like the end of October till January at least. So you really can't expect that the program director will always be able to meet you, but if you can meet with the program director, it's amazing, and it's going to help you really get a feel for the program. So either you have 1 interview, or you have like 4 interviews or 5 interviews. So it really depends on the program, how they want to evaluate you. But something that I've noticed in a lot of programs is that they're usually writing stuff down while you speak, and they're actually circling numbers. So I think there's like a point system. I was told in one program basically that they do have a point system on how they evaluate you. That takes into account your USMLE scores, your letters of recommendation, your year of graduation, and then how they feel during the interview. Of course, every program might have different parameters that they look for, but these are the basics. So after lunch or before lunch, you get to go on a hospital tour as well. And basically, it's a really, really good thing if they're taking you on a hospital tour. Some people really hate the enormous tours because, especially if you're wearing high heels, make sure you're wearing comfortable shoes, because you will be trekking all across the hospital, up and down stairs. Usually the residents are not used to waiting for elevators, so they're not going to care that you have high heels on. They're just going to take you up and down the stairs and all over the hospital, and you better be comfortable with it. So definitely be aware of that. Wear comfortable shoes. And it's great if they take you around the hospital and you get to see where the residents work. Recently, I went to an interview where they actually let me round with some of the doctors, with the residents, and the attendings. Getting to round with the doctors is an amazing experience. You get to see how the teaching is in that institution. Every program that you go to, they're going to say, oh, we have excellent teaching, we have excellent faculty. They're always going to try to sell the program to you, which is something to keep in mind, that the program is also trying to sell itself to you, and you're trying to sell yourself to the program, and somewhere along the way you find that there's a perfect match somewhere out there for you. So this experience was really great for me, because every program says they have really great teaching, but then I was actually able to see if I thought that teaching was all that great, and I did. I thought it was amazing. I loved it. So every program can have something a little different during the day, and usually the day ends around 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, depending on how long the presentations and the tour is, and if they take you out for lunch, or if you're just going to have lunch in the cafeteria. It all depends. After 6 interviews, the most commonly asked questions that I've encountered have been, number 1, do you have any questions? And number 2, tell me about yourself. And then number 3, they have been really specific questions that come from either my resume or my personal statement. And I even had a program director go and Google stuff from my personal statement. So beware, if you're going to use quotes and stuff, you better know what you're talking about, because some program directors might sit there and highlight and underline stuff in your personal statement, and they might actually Google it in front of you. So beware. I didn't find that to be a problem because I wrote my personal statement, but I know that there are a lot of people out there who use some of those companies to write their personal statements, and I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone who does that. Sometimes you might need help. I think it's best to get it edited from someone. If you need that, that's fine. Show it to like 5 to 10 people, as many as you need. I had almost like 6 drafts before I was happy with my personal statement. So definitely keep working on it. But if you're going to use a company that completely writes it for you, you better be comfortable with your personal statement, because they are going to ask you very specific questions. And that's why I really would not recommend doing that. Another thing that I've been doing since, I've been doing all these interviews, and then on the way back, I have been writing thank you cards. I've been a bit of a slacker in the past few days, so I am catching up on these. And since it's Thanksgiving week, it's really fitting to send these out. They might not see them until after Thanksgiving, but I think it's still nice that they'll have these waiting for them when they get back from their vacations. So, that's definitely something that you need to do. Not all faculty appreciate handwritten notes, and it's actually written down on the papers that they give you that please don't send thank you cards, please just send emails. And then they also mention that please don't mind if your email gets lost, because we get like millions of emails. So that's also a possibility, but you still have to send it, because they might notice that you either didn't because they like you as a candidate and they're looking out to see if you're very, very interested in them, or they might actually read it and be like, hey, I remember this person, and that'll kind of jog their memory in between the hundreds of interviews that they're doing. It'll help to help them remember you. So when you're writing these thank you cards, there is a basic formula that you should follow. A nice opening line and a little tidbit of information about how your interview went, as in, something personal that they will remember, something from a conversation that you had with a faculty member is always good. Maybe you joked about something, maybe you connected over sports or some novel or whatever it is. You connected, or you like something about the program. So you should always make it a very personal note to the faculty member. Not only does this help the faculty member remember you, but it helps you to remember the program a little bit better. It helps to jog your own memory about, hey, I kind of like this place, and this is what I liked about them. So definitely take these seriously, because they are very, very useful. And as a very special thank you to my 500 plus subscribers now, I want to offer a PDF to only those people who have subscribed. So I will send you guys a personal link. Yes, I will somehow send you guys each individually a link, don't worry, to a template on how to write these thank you cards. It's a basic template that I have been using to write mine, and I think it will be incredibly useful to you when you go for your own interviews and you remember, hey, I have to start writing these. Where do I even start? How do I fill in this blank page, right? So as a special thank you to you guys, I'm going to link that PDF to you. And thank you again for the love and support. I really appreciate it. Well, that's it for this vlog. Please stay tuned for the next one. I will, really try to get better at posting these, and I'm really going to work on that CS video because I think it's very important. I have some excellent tips to give you. I know that is a very stress-inducing exam, so I will definitely help you out with that. Stay tuned for more of these vlogs as I go through the interview season. For the next 2 weeks though, I don't have anything, so look out for that CS video. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you're in the States. Otherwise, happy holidays in general. And thank you so much for subscribing and liking my videos. I really appreciate it.